if anything was mistakenly entered. That is the purpose of reviewing your votes and proceedings. So, honorable colleagues, 1 minute for us to go through our votes and proceedings. Those documents in front of you, you're supposed to go through it. Secretariat, please, from tomorrow, make sure they have their votes and proceedings early enough. Honorable members have examined and approved votes, the votes and proceedings of Thursday, 15 February 2024. Any member-elect who has not been sworn in may please come forward for the administration of oath. Clerk, please.
Please repeat after me. Oath of allegiance. I do solemnly swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and that I will preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So help me God. Oath of a member of House of Representatives. I do solemnly swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the Federal Republic of Nigeria, that as a member of the House of Representatives, I will perform my functions honestly, to the best of my ability, faithfully, in accordance with the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the law and the rules of the House, and always in the interest of the sovereignty, integrity, solidarity, well-being, and prosperity of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and that I will strive to preserve the fundamental objectives and directive principles of state policy contained in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and that I will preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and that I will abide by the Code of Conduct contained in the 5th Schedule to the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So help me God.
Honorable colleagues, fellow Nigerians, today is not a day of sugar-coated assurances, but with the stark reality of the challenges we face as a nation. The storm clouds of inflation gather. The cries of economic hardship echo, and whispers of doubt threaten to dim the flames of our collective spirit. This is a message the Parliament is sending to Nigerians. Please. But let us be rest assured that the Nigerian spirit is not one that cowers in the face of adversity. We're a nation forged in resilience, a people united. These we confront may seem insurmountable, yet amidst this trial, facing a seemingly insurmountable foe, we have before us an ordeal of the most grievous kind. We have before us many, many long months of struggle and of suffering. But I say to you, my friends, fear not. Just as Winston Churchill relied and rallied his nation in this darkest hour, so too we must rise to the occasion. This is not a time for division. This is not a time for despair. This is not a time for pointing fingers. This is a time for unity. This is the time for strength. This is a time for a staunch belief in ourselves and in the future of our beloved Nigeria. Do the challenges seem immense? Yes, they do. But are they insurmountable? Absolutely not. We have the tools, the talent, and the tenacity to overcome. The macroeconomic management approach laid out by the Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration, while demanding sacrifice, is a necessary step towards long-term stability and prosperity. Let us trust in the expertise of those tasked with guiding our economic course, even as we hold them accountable for their actions. But remember, fellow Nigerians, true progress cannot be achieved solely through policy pronouncements. It requires the collective effort of each and every one of us. Let us rise above petty squabbles and unite in a common purpose. Let us channel our frustration into constructive criticisms, into holding ourselves and our leaders accountable, but always with the betterment of our nation as a guiding star. Let us focus on the broader canvas, on the multitude of measures being taken to address the root causes of inflation, streamlining foreign exchange flows, tackling food shortages, and investing in critical infrastructure. These, coupled with collective spirit of enterprise and perseverance, hold the key to unlocking price stability and economic growth. Therefore, I implore you, my colleagues, let us not be swayed by the winds of pessimism. Let us not be cowed by the naysayers. Let us remember the words of Chinua Achebe in 1967. Being a Nigerian is abysmally frustrating and unbelievably exciting. But let us not forget the unbelievably exciting part of Achebe's description. This excitement is not a frivolous notion, but the drumming energy of a nation teeming with potentials. Look around you, colleagues. See the young entrepreneurs defying odds, the farmers growing green life from arid soil, the artists painting vibrant futures, and the innovations dreaming of solution. This is the true face of Nigeria. The Nigeria of talent, the Nigeria of resilience and audacity. We are a nation on the cusp of greatness, a land pregnant with possibilities. We are Nigerians, and within us lies the power to overcome any obstacle. Let us rise to the challenge hand in hand, heart to heart, and together build a brighter, more prosperous future for ourselves and for generations to come. Go forth, colleagues, with renewed hope, with relentless resolve, and with the unshakable belief that united we can and we will prevail. Remember, the Nigerian spirit thrives not in comfort, but in the crucible of challenge. Let us rise to the occasion and show the world the true meaning of resilience, of unity, and of unwavering hope. May God bless us as we, as Parliament, work seriously for this nation building, for a nation that we are all proud of. And we will protect and make sure that it remains a nation that our children will be proud of. God bless you, and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The Yanzao, the presiding officer of this house, is unavoidably absent today because of other needs that demands national attention. We are hoping that he will join us by tomorrow. He sends his regards to the house. Announcements. River State Caucus, notice of meetings. This is to notify all the members of River State Caucus in the House of a meeting that is scheduled to hold as follows. Tuesday, 20th February 2024. Time is 3 p.m. And the venue is Minority Leader's Office, Suite 4.17. Please, attendance is mandatory. And this is signed by the caucus leader, Right Honorable Dumnamene R. Any member who has a petition to present to the House may please rise to do so. Yeah, before the petition, there's another announcement that have been brought to my notice. This announcement is coming from Honorable Ngozi Okoli, member representing Aniocha, Oshimili Federal Constituency, Delta State. Announcement of the passing of His Royal Majesty Asaba, Prof. Joseph Chike Edoziem, the Asaba of Asaba. It is with profound sadness that I inform you of the passing of our esteemed monarch and highly revered royal father, His Royal Majesty Asaba Joseph Chike Edoziem, the Asaba of Asaba. His Majesty, who was the 13th Asaba of Asaba Kingdom's death, was announced 13th February 2024. At the ripe and good old age of 100, having reigned from 1st of July 1991 to his departure, leaving behind a legacy of grace, wisdom, and unwavering dedication to our community. In light of these profound laws, I respectfully request that a minute of silence be observed as a mark of respect and homage to the memory of His Royal Majesty.
Point of order, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I think this...
On announcement?
Yes, was announced last week by Mr. Speaker.
It was announced last week?
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Clerk. Thank you very much. Thank you for bringing it to our notice, yeah? Any member who has a petition to present to the House may please rise to do so. Yes, Attorney.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, Your Excellency, distinguished colleagues. My name is Barrister Jesse Okejo Onakalus. I represent Nigerians, especially the habit of Lagos, Oshodi Solo. Mr. Speaker and distinguished colleagues, I have a petition signed by the representative of people living at Lugbe layout. Mr. Speaker, at this hard time, where people are trying to find the way things to live on, a group of people were trying to forcefully inject...
Is your microphone on?
Yes. Mr. Speaker, I say at this trying moment, where every Nigerian interest to be protected, a group of men decided to go into an estate to forcefully inject Nigerians living there. So Nigerians who are living in this Lugbe estate wrote a strong petition, about 10 pages, calling on this House to come to their aid. Mr. Speaker, the petition is signed by Alhaji Mustafa, Saka Shira Saka, Mustafa Abubakar, Olayinwe Olabisi. Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, these Nigerians are calling on this House, which is the people's house, to come to their aid and rescue them from being forcibly ejected from their peace. Mr. Speaker, with the leave of you and the House, I lay this petition before the House.
Leave is hereby granted. You may now lay your petition. Any other petition? Yes, please.
Thank you very much, my dear Speaker and my colleagues. My name is Clement Jimbo. I still represent the people of Abak, Etmekbo, and Ika Federal Constituency. I am from Akwa Ibom State. Mr. Speaker, I rise to lay a petition before this House. This petition is signed by Nsisong Mfon Effiong. Nsisong Mfon Effiong is the senior brother to Mfonma Mfon Effiong. And the petition is against the Nigerian Army Military Police, Mambila Barracks Brigade, over the unlawful arrest and detention of Mr. Mfonma Mfon Effiong for over 10 days now. Mr. Speaker, the petitioner has highlighted 3 prayers, which I'm going to take just one. The first prayer says that the Speaker of this House should prevail on the Chief of Army Staff to order Nigerian Army Military Police, Mambila Barracks Brigade, Abuja, for an immediate release of Mr. Mfonma Mfon Effiong, a civilian under their detention for over 10 days now. Mr. Speaker, colleagues, I pray that this House give me the leave to lay this petition before this House.
May now lay your petition. Any other petition? All petitions are hereby referred to the Committee on Public Petition. Any member who has a matter of urgent public importance to present to the House may please rise to do so. And I want to find out if
Mr. Speaker,
please, is Honorable Njenje here, please?
Thank you, Your Excellency, Mr. Speaker. Very dear colleagues, my name is Njenje Obinna Omusibe. I represent the people of Ala-Igbo North, Ala-Igbo South Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I am an Ongba man from Abia State. Mr. Speaker, I rise this morning. I come under Order 8, Rule 5, to move this matter of urgent public importance on the urgent need to investigate the unprovoked fatal shooting and killing of Mr. Njenje on the 15th day of February 2024 by the personnel of the Nigerian Army at Umumpei, Mbaose, Ala-Igbo North Local Government of Abia State. Mr. Speaker, the House notes that contrary to the clear provisions of the Nigerian laws, including Chapter 4 of the 1999 Constitution, the Criminal and Penal Codes Act of 2004, and the Civil and Criminal Procedure Rules.
Are you going ahead without it being seconded? It is our rules that when you propose a motion of urgent public importance, that we have it seconded on two arms, based on the provisions of Order 8 through 5. One that is urgent, and secondly, that is urgent enough to be heard now.
Mr. Speaker, that subject has been done. It's left for somebody to
Okay, the motion has been proposed. Please sit down. Let's get a second. Anybody seconding this motion? Yes, Chief Nkwanta.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Honorable Chris Nkwanta, and I represent the good people of Okwa East and West Federal Constituency in Abia State. Mr. Speaker, I rise this morning to support the motion that the House please allow this motion of urgent public importance to be read, and that
Chief Nkwanta, you are moving that you are seconding the motion that is urgent enough.
yes, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Those in support of the motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Who is seconding the second arm of the motion that is urgent enough to be heard now? Ajilo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My dear colleagues, my name is Umar Ajilo, member representing the very good people of Magampikudan Federal Constituency. I am from the northwestern Nigeria of Kaduna State. I rise to second the second leg of the motion, ably moved by my dear brother and colleague, Honorable Njenje. I so second.
Those in support of this motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Honorable Njenje, make it brief. I saw that your motion is too long. Just summarize it. We have a lot of people who want to move a matter of urgent public importance. Just go to the real meat of the motion and the prayers, please.
Thank you, Your Excellency, Mr. Speaker. I will do exactly what you have said. The House also notes that the impunity and recklessness exhibited by Nigerian security agencies in killing unarmed Nigerian citizens in cold blood drew the attention of the international community, resulting in the United Nations.
Control room, increase the mic a little bit, increase it.
The House further knows that this part of extrajudicial killing by Nigerian military in Abia State in particular was also alarming, that the Abia State government on the 23rd day of October 2020 inaugurated a 17-man judicial panel of inquiry to investigate the incessant cases of extrajudicial killing and brutality. Aware that on the 15th day of February 2024, Mr. Njenje at 3 years of age, of Ala, an entire autonomous community, Ala-Igbo local government of Abia State, who is married with 3 children, was shot, killed in the cold hands of, in cold blood by personnel of Nigerian Army, manning a checkpoint at Umupeyi, Mbausa, over allegation of refusal to be extorted by the naval personnel whom he had allegedly paid earlier in that day. Further aware that the established rules of engagement for the military while on internal security operations to shoot unarmed civilians and citizens who refuse to pay bribe at checkpoints or elsewhere in the country. We are worried that the recent killing of Njenje and other innocent unarmed civilians in Abia State by personnel of Nigerian Armed Forces and Nigerian Police is one too many. In the case of extrajudicial killing across the country and ought to be investigated. The House resolves, 1, to observe a minute of silence in honor of the deceased. 2, to condemn in very strong terms the killing of Mr. Njenje and scores of others by men of Nigerian Army. To mandate the House Committee on Navy, Human Rights and Justice to investigate this matter and report back to the House within 2 weeks. Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues, I so move.
I think this is a straightforward motion. And those in support of this motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. This motion is referred to Committee on Navy, Human Rights and Justice. Is Honorable Saidu Bagaja in the House? Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
We will combine the 1 minute silence after all the motions have gone through, because I saw that was habit.
Okay, sir. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My respects, Honorable colleague, I am Honorable Bagaja Mohammed, member presenting good people of Isa and Samuel Prayer Constituency. I'm from Sokoto State. Motion brought under the note of urgent public importance, fashioned order 8 rule 5, House Standing Order 11 edition 23 as amended. Urgent need to address the massive killing and the displacement of innocent Nigerian in Isa and Sambini Plenary constituency in Sokoto State by the bandits.
Any seconder to this motion? Yes, behind. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Maki, approach the chair.
My honorable colleagues, I remain Bado Ahmed Yusuf. I represent Shannon Ogwe Federal Constituency, Mr. Speaker. I am from Kano State. I stand to second the motion heavily raised by my honorable colleagues. Mr. Speaker, I so second. Thank you.
Those in support of this motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The second leg of the motion is that it's urgent enough to be heard now. Architect, please.
Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues, my name is Architect Dr. Austin Asmachado. I represent the good people of
Maki, approach the chair.
I represent the good people of West Federal Constituency for Benue State. I stand to second that the motion of insecurity, as so listed, is urgent enough to be heard. I hereby second.
Those in support of this motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Honorable, you can now move your motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Not that with the great dismay, the recent massive killing and kidnapping of people the Plenary Federal constituency of Sokoto State. Aware that episode which took place on 21st February 2020 resulted to the destruction or displacement of over 40 villages to various locations within the federal constituency. Further aware that the unfortunate incident affected in the villages Jambama, Wabari, Mansalawa, Gidan Rana, Garimada, Gidan Diko, and others. To mention but a few. Concerned that the town and villages badly affected by the unfortunate basin in Southern Birni, Burkusuma, Dama, Gangara, Dankura, Damaliki, Teke, Pachal, and others. To mention but a few. Disturbed that the affected places are rendered empty while schools, business, and farming are completely shut down, as most of the surviving people are displaced to neighboring towns and villages looking for food, shelter, means of livelihood. Resolve to the House, direct the relevant authorities to deploy more combined security personnel, army, air force, and police to restore normalcy and destabilizing the area. Number two, direct the Federal Ministry of Material Affairs and the National Emergency Agency NEMA to provide food and non-food items to save the thousands of victims from dying of hunger and severe hardship. Number three, direct the National Commission of Refugees to facilitate the relocation of victims to their villages and towns. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Again, this is also straight to the point. Those in support of this say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. This motion is referred to Committee on Humanitarian Affairs, NEMA, Army, Air Force, and Police. Honorable Bello. Honorable Bello Shinkafe.
Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name still remains Honorable Bello Shinkafi. I represent the entire people of Shinkafi Zone Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I am from Zamfara State. Mr. Speaker, I came under Order 8, Rule 5 of our standing rule on matters of urgent public importance to investigate the incessant killing and destruction of lives and properties in different communities of Zurmi local government, Mr. Speaker, Zamfara State. Mr. Speaker, with your kind permission, I crave the indulgence of this very House to allow me present this of my motion. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yeah, any seconder to that motion that is urgent enough? Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Speaker, sir, honorable colleagues, I'm Lawan Shatima Ali, representing Bursari, Gaidam, Yunusari Federal Constituency. I'm from Yobe State, sir. I rise to second the motion ably moved by my brother, Bello Shinkavi. I saw second, sir.
Thank you, Honorable Shatima. Those in support of this motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The second leg of the motion is that it's urgent enough to be heard now. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. I am Honorable Dr. Wale Ahmed. I represent Agege Federal Constituency. I'm from Lagos State. I support the motion that it is urgent enough to be heard. Thank you, sir.
Those in support of this motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Honorable, make it brief and straight to the point.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Already the motion is so brief, and I'm going straight to it. Mr. Speaker, this motion is to investigate the incessant killing and destruction of lives and properties in different communities of Zurmi local government in Zamfara State. The House notes that on...
Silence, please.
Yes, Mr. Speaker. The House notes that early this year, bandits invaded Baichen Dauran, Nasamu, Zurmi Town, Kobre, Gidandoa, Boko, and other communities in Zurmi local government where innocent people were killed and properties destroyed. And the most recent attack took place at 6:15 p.m. day before yesterday, on 18th February 2024. A gang of unknown gunmen invaded the Nasarawa community in Zurmi local government in Zamfara State, leading to killing and destruction of lives and properties of that very community. Also note that the Nasarawa community is the commercial center of the local government, while many businesses and other commercial activities are carried out on a daily basis, and revenues are generated through those activities. The House worried that this ungodly act is coming at a period where the citizens of the country are experiencing hardship due to economic downfall. This also caused severe toll on the indigents and settlers of the community to which the attack is being carried out. Also worried due to this hilarious attack, the affected community lost many shops, houses, motorcycles, foodstuff, etc., worth hundreds of millions, and two senior gallant officers, police officers by name Shitu Musa and Yahuza Suleiman, attached to Zurmi Police Divisional Headquarters. Mr. Speaker, the House do resolve to urge the House to observe 1 minute silence in memory of those that lost their lives. 2, urge the Inspector General of Police to set up a tactical team that will unveil the mystery behind this attack and report back in 2 weeks for further legislative action. 3, urge the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, to urgently come to the rescue of affected persons with relief materials. 4, urge the federal government to deploy more military personnel in the affected area to avert any further occurrences. The last but not the least, urge the Committee on Defense, Police Affairs, Humanitarian and Disaster Preparedness and Legislative Compliance to ensure compliance to this directive within 2 weeks. I so submit, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think it's also very straight to the point. I want to ask those in support of this motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Honorable Maidala Osman Balami, I think you will move that will suspend our rules to enable us to have the 4th one. Because normally we're supposed to have 3, and yours came first, but they put it last. You submitted before this one, so let's give you that privilege. So move. If the House accepts, we'll take it.
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, my name is Dr. Midala Usman Balami. I represent the dynamic and good people of Askira Uba Hawul Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I am from Borno State. Mr. Speaker, I want to come under Order 8, Rule 5, for the House to suspend all our relevant rules for me to be able to take this matter of urgent importance titled Prevent the Killing and Urgent Deployment of Security Measures in Sabon Gari, Kelle, Dile, Lassa, and Musa Town in Askira Wuba, Hawul Federal Constituency in Borno State. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
So the first motion is that this particular motion is coming as number 4 against our rule that said we can only take 3. So we'll waive our rule for us to hear it. Any seconder to this motion? Yes, the man who went to London. Go ahead. The Londonian.
Thank you, Your Excellency, the Speaker. My name is Dr. Patrick Umar. I represent the entire people of Ikorekwene, Esienudim, Obodokara Federal Constituency, and from Akwa Ibom State. The Speaker I rise to second the motion heavily moved by my friend and colleague. I so second.
Those in support that please. This motion be the 4th one of the day, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Honorable, please make it brief and straight to the point.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, colleagues. The need to prevent killings and deploy urgent security measures in Sabon Gari, Kelle, Dile, Lassa, and Musa Town in Askira Uba Hawul Federal Constituency. The House notes that the intermittent attack, maiming, killing, and wanton destruction of lives and properties
Honorable colleagues, please.
State, particularly Sabon Gari, Kelle, Dile, Lassa, and Musa Ward in Askira Uba local government area of Borno State, Hawul Federal Constituency, has become a new devastating normal atrocity. The House also notes that these avoidable killings have continued unabated, and there is urgent need for robust, efficient security measures to prevent future occurrence, as well as provision of essential relief material to the victim, which include women and children.
Honorable Shagaya, approach the chair. Shagaya.
Most especially Mr. Bitrus Adamu and his sons who were killed in this attack. Concerned that the residents of Sabon Gari, Kelle, Dile, Lassa, and Musa have been subjected to a harrowing ordeal and trauma that affect the area and claim the life of numerous citizens in those communities, including travelers going for a wedding event. Worried that the periodic attack continues and there was no humanitarian assistance that had been provided to the victims to cushion the effect of the attack, there is their need for urgent intervention by the Nigerian National Emergency Management Agency, humanitarian organization, and other relevant establishments. Aware that this incessant attack continues to pose threat to life and property, Nigerian territorial integrity, and overall development of the Nigerian state, there is need to wake up and contain the security challenge in Askira Uba Hawul Federal Constituency and our country in general cannot be overemphasized. Also worried that such brazen acts of terrorism do not only threaten the lives and livelihood of residents of Sabon Gari, Kelle, Dile, Lassa, and Musa, but also undermine the peace and stability of Borno State, the Northeast region, and Nigeria as a whole. The House therefore resolved to urge the Nigerian Army and other relevant security measures to deploy, strengthen, and intensify security measures in Sabon Gari, Kelle, Dile, Musa, Lassa, and the entire axis. Also urge the federal government, Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Poverty Alleviation, in collaboration with Borno State government to ensure rehabilitation, reconstruction, and resettlement of affected community in Askira Uba local government area. In the meantime, The NEMA should also provide immediate relief material and basic psychosocial support to the affected individuals and community. The House also urged that a minute of silence to be observed by this Honorable House in honor of those killed in the attack, most especially Mr. Bitrus Adamu and his sons, who are unfortunate victims of this attack. The House mandate the House Committee on Army, Humanitarian Affairs, NEMA, and relevant MDAs to ensure compliance. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
I think this is also straightforward. Those in support of this motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. This motion is referred to relevant committee as prayed by the motion. Having waived our rules, we will oblige the leader from the minority to move the last matter of urgent public importance.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My honorable colleague, I remain Dr. Ali Issa JC, representing Balanga Billi Federal Constituency. I am from Gombe State. Mr. Speaker, I'm coming under Order 8, Rule 5, matters of urgent public importance. I hereby move, let the Speaker permit me to move the motions to urgent need to call on federal government and stakeholders to cause deliberate actions toward addressing the destructions of vital vaccines and medical supplies worth billions of naira ago by fire outbreak in Gombe yesterday. Mr. Speaker, I so move.
Please, Seconder. Please, Honorable Kuma.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My respected colleague, Usman Bello Kumo, member representing our federal constituency and from Gombe State, arise to humbly second this motion ably moved by my brother, Ali. I so second.
Thank you very much. Those in support of this motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Leader, move your motion.
Mr. Speaker, my honorable colleague, urgent need to call on the federal government and stakeholders to cause deliberate actions toward addressing the destructions of vital vaccines and medical supplies worth billions of naira ago by fire outbreak in Gombe Medical Central Store yesterday. The House alarmed that on the 19th of February 2024, an inferno engulfed the Fire Central Medical Store, a critical healthcare facility which houses over 2 million doses of polio vaccines and various essential medical consumables and equipment. Alarmed at, disturbed that the destructions valued at over 5 billion naira possess a significant setback for Gombe State and Northeast, including kick-off.
Leader Madaki, go to your seat.
Including the kick-off of the polio campaign scheduled between March and April 2024. Also disturbed that the obliterations of the facility is not just a setback to Gombe State, but it affects the role of the center in supporting healthcare across the Northeast and some part of the state in the country. Worried that the consequences of these unfortunate incidents transcend beyond the loss of crucial medical supplies, but can compromise healthcare delivery, distort the vaccine campaign, little potential vaccine as a holding place for vaccine destined for onward distributions to the northern part of the country. Resolve call on the Federal Ministry of Health and its accompanying donor agencies to commence interventions effort toward revamping the center and replacing the lost vaccines, drugs, and medical facilities. Mandate the Committee on Health Institutions and Healthcare Services to complement the effort of the state government in ascertaining the remote cause of the outbreak toward averting future incidences and ensure implementations of the resolutions. Mr. Speaker, I so move. Thank you.
Thank you very much. This is straightforward, and it's the fourth motion. I would like the co-sponsor. Gaba is there, right? And Obed Shehu is there, and Kumo. Just 1 minute if you want to add anything as a co-sponsor.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, my respected colleague. This motion is not only urgent, it's apt and God-fearing. And the vaccines we are talking about is not only for the consumption of Gombe State. It goes beyond Gombe State because the Federal Medical Center, who is one of the consumers for the good, is servicing Gombe State and other neighboring states, Yobe, Borno, and Adamawa. So we are appealing that the motion is apt, and we plead that colleagues can kindly grant us the approval for all the prayers in the motion. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I think this is very straightforward. Well, let's not debate so much on it. I'm just going to put the question. Those in support of this say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. This motion is referred to Committee on Health Care Services and Health Institutions. Honorable members, you recall that some of the motions that we had today prayed for 1 minute silence for the disease. May we rise for 1 minute silence in honor of those who have moved on. May the gentle souls of the departed rest in perfect peace. Most distinguished colleagues, the first order of the day is a commencement of debate on the general principles of a bill for an act to alter the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria Act 1990, Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999, to provide for the establishment of state police and for related matters. This motion is standing in the name of Honorable Benjamin Okeze-Carlo and 14 other honorable members. Members will recall that the bill was read the first time on Thursday, 12th October 2023. And I invite one of the co-sponsors of the bill, Honorable Shagaya, to lead the debate. To move the motion, please. Honorable Shagaya.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My distinguished honorable colleagues, I remain Honorable Mukhtar Tolani Shagaya, and I represent Nigerians starting from Ilorin West, Asa Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Kwara State. Mr. Speaker, I rise today to move a bill for an act to alter the provisions of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to provide for the establishment of state police and for related matters. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues.
Wait for a second.
Sorry.
Any seconder to this? Yes, sir.
Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, I am Belisa Ambarura, member representing Gorabawa Ilela. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Sokoto State. Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, I rise up to second this motion, ably moved by co-sponsors, presided by Honorable Shagaya. I so second, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you. Those in support of this motion say aye.
Mr. Speaker,
Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Please, Honorable Shagaya, you can go ahead. Honorable
Thank you,
Shagaya,
Mr.
go
Speaker,
ahead.
honorable colleagues. Today I rise in strong support of the establishment of state police forces across Nigeria. A proposition that not only aligns with the principles of federalism, but also responds to the urgent security needs of our diverse and evolving society. Our discussions begin with the bedrock of our nation's governance, the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended. Though the Constitution currently vests the responsibility of policing in the federal government, it is imperative to revisit this framework to reflect the realities of our federated states. The essence of federalism is to empower states to handle their affairs, including security, which is paramount to the well-being of their citizens. Amending the Constitution to allow state policing is not only a step towards true federalism, but also an acknowledgement of the diverse security challenges that vary from one state to another. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, the Nigerian security landscape is marred by multifaceted challenges ranging from insurgency in the northeast, communal clashes in the middle belt, to piracy and pipeline vandalism in the south-south. The challenges underscore the limitations of a centralized policing system. State police forces familiar with their local terrains and socio-cultural dynamics are better positioned to devise and implement effective strategies tailored towards the specific security challenges of their regions. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, state policing will foster a closer relationship between the police and communities they serve. It enhances community policing strategies, leading to more effective crime and resolutions. As it is, honorable colleagues, across the country, we have the likes of Amotekun, we have Neighborhood Watch, we have Ebubeagu in the southeast. What we're trying to do and what this bill seeks to do is to streamline those activities in such a way that those organizations do not fall on the other side of the law. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, this bill, which comprises 18 clauses, seeks to alter sections 34, 35, 39, 42, 84, 89, and 129 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as altered. It also seeks to alter sections 153, 197, 214, 215, and 216 of the Constitution. Furthermore, the bill seeks to alter Chapter 6, Part 3 of the second schedule, Part 2 of the third schedule, and Part 3 of the third schedule of the Constitution as well. Among others, some of the key innovations of this proposed alteration include: A, the transfer of police from the exclusive legislative list to the concurrent legislative list, a move that effectively empowers states to have state-controlled policing. B, the introduction of a comprehensive framework to ensure cohesion as well as accountability and uniform standards between federal police and state police. C, the provision of a prescribed rigorous safeguards preventing unwarranted interference from the federal police in state police affairs, emphasizing collaboration and intervention only under well-defined circumstances. D, the establishment of state police service commissions as distinct from the Federal Police Service Commission with clearly defined roles and jurisdictions. E, a recalibration of the National Police Council to include the chairmen of state police service commissions, emphasizing the collaborative and consultative nature of policing in our federal system. F, a recognition of the possible financial challenges which may be faced by state police by empowering the federal government to provide grants or aids subject to the approval of the National Assembly, thus ensuring adequate resources for effective policing. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, in conclusion, as we deliberate on this historic bill, let us transcend party lines and ideologies and focus unwaveringly on the collective good of our beloved nation. The establishment of state police is a clarion call for a tailored, community-centric policing system. It is also an acknowledgement that our states are uniquely positioned to address the security challenges within the borders. The alterations proposed in this bill are not just alterations to the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. They are also the building blocks for the more secure, accountable, and resilient Nigeria. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I urge you to support this bill, be read the second time. Thank you for listening, and thank you for your support.
Honorable Jah.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
After that, Honorable Kaleshi. After Jaha, you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. Jaha Babao is my name. I represent Chibok, Damboa, and Goza Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I rise to support with all my heart this bill for the establishment of state policy. Mr. Speaker, for those of us in the Northeast, we don't need a soothsayer to tell us that it's timely and appropriate for us to have a state policy. Mr. Speaker, when the issue of Boko Haram became something out of the control of all agents of coercion, the state government must embark on establishment of what we call civilian JTF to augment the effort of our Nigerian military and other agents of coercion in the operations in the Northeast. So today, whether we like it or not, members from Northeast can attest to the fact that involvement of locals, involvement of young people, energetic people, to collaborate with our agents of coercion on ground, reduce Boko Haram to certain level, to the extent that before the constitution of such, more than 22 local governments out of 27 local governments in Borno were completely under the occupation of Boko Haram. Today, we have only 1 or 2 local governments that are still under the occupation of Boko Haram. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, honorable members should understand that security from their functions. Lastly, Mr. Speaker, we have been presenting motions on insecurity on the floor of this House from the beginning of 9th Assembly to date. There was no single week that there was no matter of urgent public importance that has to do with security. The record is there, you can verify. Mr. Speaker, most of these motions were referred to committee on either Navy, Air Force, Army, or police. Sir, it's not the responsibility of the Nigerian Army to provide internal security. We know it and it's there enshrined in our constitution. They are just coming in because our internal security mechanism has failed. So if we have community policing, together with the effort of the Nigerian police, they are going to rid out our society from all forms of criminalities and other forms of crimes.
Okay, round up.
So, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I urge our colleagues to put sentiment aside and look at Nigeria first for us to have peace in the country. Without peace, there will be no development. Without peace, there will be no investment. Without peace, there will be no prosperity. So peace should be our key for Nigeria to exist as a nation. Without peace, there will be no Nigeria. Thank you very much, and I need your support on this. Thank you.
Thank you. Well expressed, Jaha must say. Honorable Jimmy.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues. I remain Ogbuefi Baba Jimmy Benson.
I can see it. I can see you now deserve a 3 handshake. You have qualified. That is the beauty of Nigeria. Yoruba man is wearing Igbo cap. Igbo man is wearing Hausa cap. That is the beauty in our diversity. Keep it up.
Representing the very good people of the Ikorodu Federal Constituency, Lagos State. Mr. Speaker, I must commend you for initiating this bill, and I commend the 12 other co-signatories. Please put it on note that I am also a co-signatory, so co-signatories are 13. Mr. Speaker, I have listened to Honorable Jaha, and I've listened to Mr. Tolani Shagaya. They have spoken very well. Mr. Speaker, 2 things I want to add to what Honorable Jaha has said. He has explained here that the job of the armed forces is to protect the territorial integrity of Nigeria. They shoot to kill. The job of the police is to maintain internal security, which is called IS operations. Mr. Speaker, today, the UN density for police is 4:1. We have a population of 200 million people, and the number of our policemen are under 400,000. It is appalling indeed. How do we remedy this? What are the constraints to state police? People talk about funding. Mr. Speaker, I want to suggest that the police should be licensed like universities are licensed. For instance, if you want to set up a university in a state, if a state wants to set up a university, they will go to the NUC. NUC will license them. So we should find a way of licensing police. Any state that meets the condition precedents that is formed by maybe the Police Service Commission can apply. Can apply. If the 36 states believe they have the funding, they have the capacity, they have the need for a state police, they apply to the Police Service Commission. If they meet the condition precedents to draw down or to license, they can be obliged. And they should be strictly monitored before their licenses are renewed. We don't want a state police that will be used to perpetrate political motives and not have sanctions. If a state police in a particular state goes off guard, the police commission must be able to revoke the license or not renew it for work not done well. Second of all, and my final contribution, sir, is recruitment.
Please round up.
Is recruitment. Mr. Speaker, every state in Nigeria complains about having an overbloated workforce. This is a way of balancing the workforce. If you have an overbloated workforce, if you apply for a state police license and you're granted, you can shift part of your workforce to be part of the state police. That way, there's no additional recurrent expenditure being put on the federal government. With all this, I submit my suggestion, and I pray that this bill is passed with the speed of light.
Honorable Abiante.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker, my distinguished colleagues. I am Awaji Nombeg Dagomie Abiante. I represent Andoni Opobo, Nkora Federal Constituency, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I cannot be happier than I am today, because if you go through the foundation of this country, this bill is like a return to what we have always had, what made us Nigeria. This bill will contribute towards the understanding of that word, federation. It will cure that tragedy of the Unitary Decree of 1966. But we have to be careful. We have to be committed enough, because this is not the first time that this attempt is made. It's like we have always loved inflicting pains on ourselves. This state police had been proposed in the 8th Assembly, it failed. The 9th Assembly, it failed. Here again we are, the 10th Assembly. I want to urge all of us, we have had enough of insecurity. This is one sure way of guaranteeing that we can sleep with our two eyes closed. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you very much. Let us have a leader speak. Maraki.
Mr. Speaker, my highly respected colleagues, my name is Ali Usanu Madaki, and I represent the Ala-Igbo constituency of Kano State. I believe, Mr. Speaker, this bill could not have come at a better time. Let me make a confession that in the 7th and 8th Assembly, I am one of those who championed the killing of this type of bill. Our reasoning then was that state governors will use the bill to intimidate and harass political opponents. But with the situation we are in now, we have gone far, far beyond that. We are now concerned with what is the primary purpose of government: protection of life and property. I believe that is the most important job for all of us that are elected into office. And as we speak today, Nigeria is on fire everywhere. There is lack of security, there is lack of posterity, there is lack of this, lack of this. And the only way to remedy this situation, one of the ways, is to create more employment opportunities. Another way is to increase the size of the security agencies. And I believe by creating a police force, each state will be in a better position, because what is happening in Zamfara and the kind of situation they are facing may be different from what is happening in Abia, may be different from what is happening in Kano. And the way to control it also will be different. So I believe we are in need of, their need, let me say, of state police. And I urge all my honorable colleagues not to make the mistake we made in 7th and 8th Assembly, to make sure we pass this bill into law. I so submit, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. I think you captured it very well. That we have gone beyond politics. That the needs that we have in our hand is beyond protecting our political interests. Because our fear has always been, it will be used against political opponents. But what we have in our hand, which is insecurity, is beyond our political aspiration and ambition. So which one should come first? The lives and properties or our political ambition? It will be self-serving to go the other way, but it's good to hear from the House. Let me hear Honorable Sada Soli, who has been raising his hand since.
Mr. Speaker, my name is Sada Soli Jibia, representing Jibia Kaita Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, first of all, I'm coming on Order 12, Rule 5.1. My contribution will be based on the provisions of that rule. Order 12, Rule 5, misunderstanding. put the case of establishing state police in these 20 states. I can give you an example. How do you create and balance the establishment of a state police in the trajectory history of political situation in Plateau states today, or Benue State, or Taraba State? It's a noble idea, but the problem is we. It's we. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, as of today, we are a living witness. The federal government is battling on how to fund 300 or 400,000 police force in this country. Some of the states that we are clamoring to establish police states are not even viable economically. Let's tell ourselves the truth. Policing is capital intensive. The literature is there, how other jurisdictions establish police force. First, you have to address the issue of socio-political issues of those societies. Then you have to cement the unity of those societies before you establish police force. Those are some of the critical requirements. It's a noble idea. Mr. Speaker, today, you and I know the influence of ruling parties in states. I can tell you there was a time when a governor refused a presidential candidate to land at an airport. It's an evidence that they can be used for coercion, for persecution of the opposition, and, Mr. Speaker, there is no state where we don't have non-indigents. It could be an instrument of persecuting the non-indigent factor in this country.
Okay.
We must look at all this, the government, but it's a noble idea.
So are you saying yes or no to it?
Mr. Speaker, that's why I narrowed my discussions on the order 12.
Take a position. Take a position.
No, Mr. Speaker, the rule narrowed me to discuss the general merits and the principles of the bill. I do not want to take position.
Okay, we had it. Let's give other people opportunity to also elaborate on this. Honorable,
page 85.
Thank you.
I do not want to take
Thank you. Honorable Kuye, please. Don't worry, people will be allowed to talk. Don't worry, it's a topical issue. We will spend some time on it.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Distinguished honorable colleagues, my name remains Ademorin Aliukuye, and I speak for the good people of Shomolu Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I rise this afternoon gladly, heartily, and wholesomely to support the bill for the creation of state police. Mr. Speaker, I believe that this bill couldn't have come at a more auspicious time. Doubts have been raised about the possibility of using state police as an instrument of coercion by state governors. But we must not allow that fear to stop us from protecting lives and property, which is the primary responsibility of any government. Mr. Speaker, the fact that states are permitted to establish state university does not mean that every state will create or establish their own state university. It depends on the availability of funds. We have all agreed here, including Honorable Sada Soli, who has raised these doubts and fear in our hearts. He has admitted that it is impossible for the federal government to fund the totality of our security architecture through the Nigerian police. and that the personnel that we have, as rightly pointed out by the Chairman of Defense, Honorable Jimmy Benson, is that Nigeria is grossly inadequately policed, with 400,000 policemen to 220 million Nigerians. Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, we need the state police. And the reason is not far-fetched. Just in addition to what others have said, the Nigerian police probably trains a police officer in Gombe State. The man who did his primary school, secondary school, university in Gombe State, trained as a police officer in Gombe State, and then taken to a different culture, different security architecture in Ikorodu to go and police. Number one, he does not understand their language. He does not understand that they do oro in those places. He does not understand their tradition, and he does not know the terrain. How can he effectively police that place? That's why we need state police. With due respect, honorable distinguished colleagues, let us grow beyond our fears. Nav it first. After all, we have state high courts. We have state high courts that are doing extremely well, dispensing fair and equitable justice to people of different regions in the states. Why don't we have that optimism that the state police would do likewise? Mr. Speaker, I rise to support, and I humbly support, and I beg our colleagues to support this bill. Mr. Speaker.
States have universities. States have state high courts. Federal police is used to convict people, to prosecute people that are tried by state high court. The question is, why can't state police prosecute for state high court? These are the questions bordering in our mind, but we will not take position until we hear more. Only if you are sitting where I'm sitting and seeing the array of hands that are up that want to discuss this issue. Leader, before I allow you, let me allow a woman to say something.
Mr. Speaker, dear colleagues, I am Representative Marie Enenimete Ebikake, representing the good and wonderful peace-loving people of Brass Nembe Federal Constituency. I'm from Bayelsa State. Mr. Speaker, I rise this morning, this afternoon, to support this bill. Mr. Speaker, we are overflogging this issue. Overflogging in the sense that so many states, we have security outfits. When they come out in their uniform, it gives impetus to the communities. You are so conscious that you have security. What we are talking about now is the legal support so that they can arm themselves openly. That is what we are talking about. There is no need for us to go against this bill. My dear colleagues, please, let's expand our reasonings. Let's not be myopic, looking at the negative aspect of it. The benefits are overwhelming. When you have your person in charge of your security, you bring a stranger from Adamawa State to be commissioner in Bayelsa State. He does not know the terrain. But if you have our own police, the commander and everything will go smoothly. We may not have 100% benefit, but I bet you we will have peace. All this banditry and so on, because we know who is who in our community. We know. As soon as we are giving that legal backing to control that security, we'll be able to achieve. Mr. Speaker, please, let's not overflog this issue. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Honorable Kumo, what the lady is saying, that we all have security organizations in all the states. How are they funding them? Amotekun is there, Ebubagu is there, and there are a lot of them. Neighborhood Watch is there, Last Man Police for Traffic is there. These are agencies in various states that maintain security. How are they funding them? How are they working? So this is a debate that to be good to hear more, and then we'll rule in the next 4 minutes. We'll be done with this. Honorable Kumo, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and my respected colleagues. Swambelo Kumo is my name. I represent Akko Federal Constituency from Gombe State. I rise to support this bill, even though I have some fears. And expressing my fears is maybe in our attempt to package this bill, we'll be able to take in cognizance of some gray areas and leakages within which, by the time when we are done with the bill, it may give us the expected result. Mr. Speaker, I have listened to so many speakers. Let me start by the current situation in the country. The mood of the nation, with the incessant killings every day, and we have federal government. And the primary responsibility of every government is to secure and protect life and property. Mr. Speaker and honorable colleagues, I want to tell you for free that even the ongoing recruitment exercise in the Nigerian police today is not yet funded by the federal government. That's why, up to this moment we are talking about, funds were not released for the recruitment. We have, as everybody knows, about 400,000 police workforce in a country of about 200 million. Mr. Speaker, the issue is we must trace back our history. The long stay of military rule in Nigeria have put the Nigerian police to the background. The Nigerian police, who is supposed to be the organization that man the internal security of the land constitutionally, have been relegated to the background by the army. Today, the Nigerian army have taken over by usurping all the powers of the Nigerian police. If not, why do you see a Nigerian military man on the roadblock? Why? Internal security is purely the constitutional mandate of the Nigerian police. And if we are talking about protecting and securing the land, what stopped the federal government from declaring state of emergency in the Nigerian police sector? We have the manpower, we have the youth. Why can't we do massive recruitment to ensure that we secure and protect the nation first? We have youths that are certificates, an array of army of youth who have nothing to do. We can do that. And the recruitment can take place within the period of 2 months, if we are serious. And what is wrong in releasing the funds to the appropriate quarters to do the recruitment? But the bureaucracy of the country, by our laws, serve as a bottleneck. Even where government want to do that, the bureaucracy is making it very difficult. Coming to the issue of the state police, it's a very, very good concept. It's apt. It's very okay to have state police. But Mr. Speaker, why I support the bill, why I'm going to continue supporting the bill, I want us to put at the back of our mind that Nigeria is a cosmopolitan country. And it's good we have good concepts. I appreciate you as the sponsor of this bill, but I want you to understand that, like my brother here said, the civilian executive in Borno, substantial number of members of civilian executive in Borno are Kanuris. So also when you go to Edo State today, if you have a state police in Edo, with the present governor of Edo, can the members of other political parties have justice in Edo? The answer is no. So while I'm supporting this bill, I want us to look inward and do the right thing to ensure that taking cognizance of our cosmopolitan nature, we bring in a bill that will give the country that nationalistic reason of having bills and laws. Thank you.
The word is okay. The word. Yes, sir, my speaker. He's
Wow, the amount of hands up here. After the speech of the former chairman of police committee, which was actually very sound, and that of Mayaki, I still refer to Honorable Madaki's speech that says we should go beyond politics and look at lives and properties. We should not be afraid of political position protection, but we should be more interested in protecting lives and properties. These hands are much, and if we listen to all of them, we may not be able to finish today. I'll give the next opportunity to the LP man, the chairman,
Mr.
monitoring
Speaker,
and evaluation.
let us talk. We need to deliberate on this bill.
Please off your microphone. After the labor man, then you come up.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'm humbled. Mr. Speaker, my name is Honorable Barrister Ben Tana Bene. I represent Okpe, Saple, Uwe Federal Constituency. I'm from Delta State. Mr. Speaker, for more than 20 years, I have canvassed this same motion that we should have a police structure different from what it is, today. I'm happy with the motion, but I have issues, with it. First, if a member says here that this same motion has come in the 7th Assembly, 8, 9, and whatever, and it has never seen the light of the day, it suggests to me that there's a problem, to it. Beautiful as it is, why is it not seeing the light of the day? And I tell you, perhaps we are letting the cat, before the horse. Nigerians do not know the structure of what it will take to have a police structure different from what it is, today. And what do I mean, by that? The mere use of the word state police is causing problems. The mere use of the word state police is causing problems. It's making Nigerians think, that once you establish a state police, it will be in the control of the governor and can be used for whatever the case may be. No. That is why I say, let us look at it critically and leave the word state police and go for the word decentralization of the Nigerian police force into different commands. And the commands are interrelated, together. For example, Mr. Speaker, the community police is independent, and we deal with misdemeanors, minor misdemeanors within the community. The local police, local government police, can handle the issues of threat, battery, as the case may be. But when it comes to robbery, kidnapping, and so on and so forth, the state police. Then, when it comes to human rights, issue of human rights, the federal police, which has offices in every local government, will be saddled with that responsibility. Why do I say so? Now, the fear of those who don't want state police are such that governors will use it against, people. But you see, when an individual makes a complaint that his right is being infringed upon by either the local government chairman or the state governor, then he makes a petition to the federal police having presence in that very local government. And that federal police takes over, the case, once. So by this, we'll be eliminating the fears of governors using the state police. So while I agree with this debate on this bill, I suggest that we should expunge the word state police into decentralization of the police force for Nigerians to understand and show the structure of operations to Nigerians and understand it before, we begin to, get into this issue. Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Agocha. Please, 1 minute, 1 minute.
Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, my name is Honorable Obi Agocha. I'm representing the great people of Iguano, Umuahia North, and Umuahia South Federal Constituency of Abia State. Mr. Speaker, let me first of all appreciate you for raising this bill. And like you said, obviously, there are several factors threatening the security and corporate existence of Nigeria. We talk about kidnapping, we talk about banditry, we also talk about assassination, and there are no state that is spared of these issues, and currently we now have hunger and high cost of food prices. Mr. Speaker, Nigerians are suffering, Nigerians are hungry, and they are not happy. In the issue of state police, Mr. Speaker, a lot of arguments have been made prior to me. Mr. Speaker, I want to come from a particular perspective. Many states, Mr. Speaker, do not even qualify to be states as it's today economically. Many states may need to be merged, let alone to be saddled with the issue of state police. Many states are insolvent, unable to pay their salaries and other obligations. State police is not the right way to go. The hard-headedness of political operatives in the state also demand that state police is not the right way to go. Mr. Speaker, the Igbos have a saying that the way the kola nut sound in the mouth is not the way it tastes. Mr. Speaker, you should also be concerned about interstate movement and commerce. If we have state police, many states may decide on their own, based on the issues and challenges that they are facing, to deny others access to their state. Tomorrow, Ibubagu can say, no northerner can come to the southeast. Tomorrow, Boko Haram can say, no easterner can come to the northwest and northeast. We need to expand the current structure of the Nigerian police, that somebody said, to expand it, to make it more functional. Because as is now, Mr. Speaker, we need to encourage the Nigerian police to stay at a rate. When we reach at a stage where Nigeria can move beyond all these intimidations of state, then we can consider the state police.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Please, let us, Deputy Chairman, Ami.
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I remain Ogel David Agada, member representing Ojuobi Federal Constituency. I'm from Benue State. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I must express my gratitude to God Almighty for bringing this bill to be witnessed and then for me to be part of it in these 10th assemblies. Because for me, history, a good history is about to be made. Mr. Speaker, today, as people representing the good people of this country from various federal constituencies, we can hear the yearning and the cry of our people, either of hunger or insecurity. Now, one of the reasons why today we're having a whole lot of protests for some few days now regarding hunger is because of lack of this security. The insecurity in our nation, it has deprived the farmers from going to farm for us to have farm produce, adequate farm produce for people to feed. The little we have is even being exported out of this country to make a whole lot of money out of it, and here we are as a people suffering. Establishment of state police will bring a very lasting solution to some of these things. How? Every community, every individual living in a community know each other very better. and they know their way, they know their route. I can give you an instance. In my federal constituency, some months ago, some kidnappers came in there, about 15 of them. They were apprehended by this local vigilante that we set up, and then hand over to the police. And right now, they are facing the wrath of the law. So if we can have state police, being put in place, and then their ways are defined by the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and then powers are aggregated to them, I can assure you that this insecurity we are talking about will be a thing of the past. So for me, as a person, as people's representative, I am totally in support of this bill. And I'm pleading with my colleagues, let us join hands to make this bill a reality. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues.
Thank you very much. There is no how all of us will speak on this. It will be very difficult for all of us to speak on this.
Let's try.
Very difficult. Everybody want to speak on it. We need to put the question. Back. Please, let's put the question. Those in support of this say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. So if you have amendments and all, take it to the committee. This motion refers to Committee on Constitution Review. Please, clerk, you are invited to read the long title of the bill. Clerk, please read the long title of the bill.
Right Honorable Speaker, honorable members. A bill for an act to alter the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, provide for establishment of state police and for related matters. Second reading.
The second order of the day is commencement of debate on the general principles on a bill for an act to establish National Polytechnic Commission to supervise, regulate, and coordinate polytechnics. Lady House be heard in silence, please. To regulate and coordinate polytechnics and for related matters. Standing in the name of Honorable Igariwe Iduma Enwo. Honorable members will recall that the bill was read the first time on Thursday, 19th October 2023. And I invite Honorable Enwo to move that the bill be read the second time. Honorable Enwo, please.
Honorable colleagues. Order, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My respected colleagues, my name is Igariwe Iduma Enwo. I represent Ala-Igbo and Eda Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Ebonyi State. Mr. Speaker, I rise this morning to move that a bill for an act to establish National Polytechnic Commission to supervise, regulate, and coordinate polytechnics be read a second time. Mr. Speaker, my respected colleagues, I so move.
Thank you very much. Any seconder to this? Former Deputy Chair, NDC.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Respected colleague, my name is Thomas Ereitomi. I represent the people of Warri South, Warri North, and Warri Southwest. Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, I'm from Delta State. Mr. Speaker, I rise this afternoon to second that HB 673 should be read the second time. Mr. Speaker, I so second.
Thank you very much. I put the question. Those in support of this motion say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Honorable Enwo, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and my colleagues. Mr. Speaker, It's my profound respect and honor to bring a bill I think is very, very important. Mr. Speaker, I know a lot of people will be very surprised that in spite of the importance of science and technology, which is at the core of polytechnic education, we still do not have a dedicated commission to regulate science and technology education in this country. Mr. Speaker, it is important to state here that it is only polytechnics that are the only arm of tertiary education in this country without a dedicated commission. The Nigerian Basic Technical Education Board.
This is a very important bill, please. You need to pay attention. Shagaya, you can't be leaving after moving your bill.
Return to your seat.
This is a very important bill. Very important bill. Please listen.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the MBTE, which is the Nigerian Basic Technical Education, which currently supervises polytechnics in this country, actually supervises over 600 other institutions, including vocational and sub-tertiary education. So you can say that polytechnics are the only higher institution in this mixture. Therefore, the need for a dedicated commission for polytechnics is rooted in the goal to properly regulate polytechnics in the direction of providing skilled technical and technological manpower to serve the needs of Nigeria, as the current capacity of the staff in MBTE is overwhelmed by the sheer number of institutions being covered by the MBTE. Mr. Speaker, the establishment of the commission will also serve to dismantle one of the core indices of discrimination against polytechnic certificate holders, since others have their dedicated commissions, including basic and even nomadic education. Even basic and nomadic education have their own commissions. In fact, we have the National Commission for Nomadic Education. We have even the Colleges of Education Commission. We even have the National Senior Secondary Education Commission. All these other institutions have their dedicated commissions, and you can't even compare these lesser institutions with the polytechnics. Mr. Speaker, finally, the establishment of a dedicated commission for polytechnics is also in line with the vision of this current administration, as contained in the approved roadmap.
Yeah, it's straightforward, Honorable Gariwe. Just
all right, Mr.
round
Speaker.
up. It's straightforward.
Yes, so this is also in tandem with our 10th legislative agenda. So I crave the indulgence of Mr. Speaker and my respected colleagues to give support to the second reading of this bill. I so submit. Thank you.
Against.
You said?
Against the bill.
Against?
Yes.
Yeah, so you want to speak against it? Okay, let's allow you.
Thank you, Mr.
Make it
Speaker.
brief, please.
Yes,
2
honorable
minutes.
colleagues. Ameja Hababa is my name. I represent Chibok, Dambua, and Goza Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, at the risk of sounding immodest, I would like to use this opportunity to correct some anomalies
Please off the microphone that is not being used. Thank you.
presented in the lead debate. The full meaning of an acronym, NBTE, is not Nigerian Basic Technical Education, but rather National Board for Technical Education. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, honorable members, if we are going to create commissions for all branches of education in this country, I don't think we are being fair to ourselves. So we should refer our mind to UNESCO requirement. We suggest that no country's budget should be less than 26%. Since when Nigeria was created in 1960 to date, we have never even reached half of such budgetary provision. And now, you are trying to expand the cost implication of education in the country. 2, sir, we are all aware that even the current agencies in Nigeria is not properly managed by government. If we keep on creating commissions, Polytechnic Commission, Vocational Training Commission, a Special Education Commission, Al-Majiri Commission, you will end up creating commission. Before you realize what is happening, substantial part of funds allocated for education has gone to managing commissions rather than training teachers or paying teachers appropriately. So, sir, I am totally against this bill for the creation of a commission for Polytechnic, because National Board for Technical Education Commission is not complaining. The only thing, let them create centers in every state. Let them expand their scope of coverage instead of sitting in Abuja managing the affairs of polytechnics in the country. So this is my position. Thank you. And thank you very much.
Communicator.
Us.
And after that, Ikenga.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker and dear colleagues. My name is Kale-Jai Adeboye Paul. I represent the people of Ajeromi Feludu Federal Constituency, the mini Nigeria. I'm from Lagos State, the state of aquatic splendor. I rise this afternoon to second the second reading of the motion
to support,
of the bill,
not
to
support
second the reading of the bill that has to do with the establishment of Polytechnic Commission. Let me first and foremost correct the impression being created by the last speaker, my dear colleague. The National Board for Technical Education does not oversee polytechnic education, does not have the mandate to oversee polytechnic education. Polytechnic education is beyond technical education. It is also about technological education. There is a large gap between technical education and technological education. One of the major challenges we have today is that the Polytechnic, which is created to advance the deficits in our technology, is not really properly managed to ensure that they can fulfill their mandate. Today, people that are running our various repairs, whether you talk about people who are in engineering or who are in agriculture, who are in those areas that ought to meet the gap and ensure that we'll have better hands that can capably manage our technical education are not there. So I know very fervently that the colleges of education, they have a commission, and this harnesses the activities. The university has the university education. The major aspect of our development...
University education or university commission?
University commission. So the Polytechnic Commission, if created, will better manage the activities of polytechnic education.
Honorable Ikenga, please.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, going by our legislative agenda, which Chief Honorable Idugariwe was among those who worked hard for it, we focused that part of our legislative agenda would be on reducing cost of running government. And also going by the recommendation of the Steve Orasenya report on trimming down some of these polytechnic and some of these agencies to make them more efficient. I think we can amend either the National Board for Technical Education or the University Commission Act to make provisions for proper regulations of the Polytechnic. The Polytechnic is presently being regulated now because there's an agency that recognizes their establishment every time. I don't think it's right each time we have problems, we keep creating commissions and agencies. In education alone, we have State Fund, we have UBEC, we have what sort of agencies we have created, but still the level of education in this country is low, including the funding. So I'm opposing on the ground that because we need to reduce the cost of running government, that we should find a way to amend the existing legislation to take care of issues of Polytechnic, or else Amajiri people will now come for Amajiri commission, people that are in colleges of education, but will keep coming for their own commission so that they can be properly regulated. That is my own view, sir.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. My name is Boyega Isiaka. I represent the people of Yewa North, Imekoa from Federal Constituency. And by the leave of this House, the chairman of Federal Polytechnics and Higher Technical Education. I want to stand up to support fully this bill as ably presented by Honorable Enwo Igariwe. And I want to say that there is every reason for us. In the last couple of months, Mr. Speaker, I've had cause to interact with all the stakeholders in the polytechnic education in this country. And I must say that everyone that I've spoken to, from the lecturers to MBTE, to the students, are all clamoring for this. And what is the reason for it? It is to further manage the polytechnic education so that all the investments that we are putting in that sector, we can realize it. I've listened to the argument of cost of running business, running government, but it's also possible for us, and actually very logical for us, to say that even those funds that we are putting into this, polytechnic education, to ensure that we get the best out of it, we also need to set up the right structure. The right structure for polytechnic education is not MBTE. MBTE is a regulatory body, and as we speak, they are even looking at licensing, the carpenters and vocational, trainees that we have all over the country. Polytechnic education requires something much more than that in order for us to realize all the investment that we are putting into it. And that is what NUC has done to university education. That is what the same, has happened to College of Education. Polytechnic education that we have today, one of the reasons for the dichotomy that we have, that is creating a lot of ripples in our system today, is also because we do not have a commission that looks basically at the polytechnic education. So, Mr. Speaker and my colleagues, I think this is right. This is very just. This will give us an opportunity to realize all the effort and all the investment that is being put into polytechnic education, and it will give us the kind of result that we want. So once again, I think we should all, as a house, support this motion. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. The issue has been the issue of cost, whether or not it is cost effective for us to have this in view of the already existing Nigerian basic technical education, who currently handles 600 institutions across the nation, and their mandate includes vocational institutions, technical institutions, sub-tertiary education institution. And we have agreed that Polytechnic is a tertiary institution, but it's being managed alongside sub-tertiary institutions and vocational colleges. I will give the right of reply to the sponsor of the bill to let us know the cost implication of doing this, and how are they achieving commissions for basic and nomadic education, which has a commission, and polytechnics should not have a commission due to cost. What is the cost implication of doing this? We need to know this. And also let us know if you had access to the Federal Ministry of Education roadmap for 2024 to 2027. Is there anything there being proposed for this commission to be in place?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and my respected colleagues. Mr. Speaker, To be very honest, I've enjoyed the very robust debate we have had over this subject matter. As a matter of fact, Mr. Speaker, this bill is supposed to be...
Please speak into your mic. We want to hear you.
This bill is supposed to be an executive bill because it is on all fours with just what you said about the education roadmap 2024 to 2027. This bill is on all fours with it. It is about advancing technical education and de-emphasizing the theory things we have been doing all these years. So when we are talking about cost, nobody is thinking of establishing a university. All we are trying to do is articulate an appropriate framework for supervision, for regulation. For instance, the National Board for Technical Education we are talking about is oversighting over 600 other institutions. And unless we don't think polytechnic education, technological education, science education is important to this country, then we begin to think that to found a commission, a dedicated commission for such an industry like polytechnic education, that is the only time we'll begin to think it is expensive. Otherwise, I think it is something its time has come. It's even a surprise that we don't have a commission for polytechnics up till this moment. And it is a credit to this administration that they are thinking much more about technical education and anchoring it properly, because that is what this commission stands to do. It is to anchor it properly. I'll be very surprised if any serious supporter of this government will be against this kind of bill, which is aimed at advancing technical education in this country. So all we are saying, Mr. Speaker and my respected colleagues, is that if even nomadic education has a commission, what is a commission, we ask ourselves? It is just to dedicate a body that will be saddled exclusively with polytechnic education. That is all we are talking about. Nobody is saying you are going to build this, you are going to build that. So it is not that kind of establishment bill. It is not
whenever
that kind
you
of
mention nomadic, the blood of Kumo pumps up.
I saw how it's
Do I heard you say even nomadic?
No, I didn't say even. I said also. I didn't use the word even. I said also. That is including. I say including nomadic education. So, Mr. Speaker and my respected colleagues, all we are trying to do is to make this country better. There is no doubt that moving forward in this country, we are going to rely much more on science and technology. And we can continue to do that by making the mistakes of the past.
Right of reply has expired.
I'm just asking our colleagues to look at it dispassionately and know that it is in the better interest of this country that we have a dedicated commission for universities. We also have for polytechnics. In this country, if you are not a graduate from a university, the next thing you are is a graduate from a polytechnic. These are the two competing degrees we have in this country.
Okay, I think you have made your case.
How can you have one for university?
The Federal Ministry of Education will be very happy with you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Let's ask the question. Those in support of this that will be read the second time, say aye.
Aye.
Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. This bill is referred to Committee on Federal Polytechnics and Higher Education, Higher Technical Education. Please, clerk, read the long title of the bill.
Right, Honorable Speaker, honorable members, a bill for an act to establish National Polytechnic Commission to supervise, regulate, and coordinate polytechnics and for related matters. Second reading.
Most distinguished colleagues, the third order of the day is commencement of debate on the general principles of a bill for an act to establish Federal Vocational and Entrepreneurship Institute, Okota, Oshodi, Lagos State, and for related matters. And this is standing in the name of Honorable Jesse Onwakosile. Honorable members will recall that the bill was read the first time on Tuesday, 25th of July, 2023. And I invite Honorable Onwakosile to move that the bill be read the second time.
Thank you, Your Excellency, distinguished colleagues. Today is a wonderful day. Mr. Speaker, esteemed colleagues, Today we had a bill for an act to establish Federal Vocational and Entrepreneurship Institute, Okota, Lagos, HP 226. Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, I have been moved that this bill be read second time. I so move.
Thank you. Any seconder to this? Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Honorable Mudashiru Lukman, representing the good people of Iwo Ayedire Olaoluwa Federal Constituency. I rise this afternoon to second that the bill HB 226 should be read for second time. I show second, Mr. Speaker.
Those in support of this bill, this motion, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Please move your motion, but make it very brief. It's an establishment bill, so let's not waste time on it.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues. I lead a debate on the bill to establish the Federal Vocational and Entrepreneurship Institute, Okota, Lagos. Mr. Speaker and distinguished colleagues, this bill is premised on the harnessing of skills baptized with entrepreneurship with ultimate goal for productivity. Ocho de Solo local government area has a population of nearly 2.5 million, of which about 56% of our youth. Such an institute will empower our budding youth with the requisite skills and training to guarantee employment. Mr. Speaker and distinguished colleagues, I seek your support to champion this noble and timely cause of establishment for the Vocational and Entrepreneurship Institute to train, equip, and empower our youth for tomorrow. Mr. Speaker and distinguished colleagues, the bill consists of functions of the Institute, which include, among others, to design program and models for skill acquisition and enhancement for the vocational training and formulation for collaboration with other sister agencies like Sweden and Co. Mr. Speaker and distinguished colleagues, this bill is divided into 3 parts, 26 clauses and 2 schedules. Part 1 deals with the intention and the function of the Institute. Part 2 deals with the financial provision, and Part 3 deals with the miscellaneous supplementary as proposed. Mr. Speaker and distinguished colleagues, this bill is unique in its own right because it goes beyond vocational training. The bill emphasizes above all the aspect of entrepreneurship, which will leverage on the ability and readiness to develop, organize, and run business effectively in Nigeria, among other things, irrespective of the uncertainties we meet. Mr. Speaker and distinguished colleagues, I must recommend that in the United States, we have over 7,000 of such institutes. And in China, we have over 7,000. In Egypt, we have over 1,237 of such institutes, where the emphasis is training, equipping, and emphasizing on it.
Round up.
Mr. Speaker and distinguished colleagues, I have urged us to support this noble goal, so that we're not only training, we emphasize on entrepreneurship. At the end of the day, get more of our youth employed. I so move. Thank you for all this as we support this bill.
Say a straightforward bill. Those in support of this bill that it be read the second time, say aye.
Aye.
Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. The bill is referred to Committee on Federal Polytechnics and Higher Education. Higher Technical Education. Honorable colleagues, the fourth order of the day is commencement of debate on the general principle of the bill. Please, clerk, read the long title of the bill, please.
Right Honorable Speaker, honorable members. A bill for an act to establish Federal Vocational and Entrepreneurship Institute, Okota, Oshodi, Lagos State, and for related matters. Second reading.
The fourth order of the day, honorable colleagues, is commencement of debate on the general principle of a bill for an act to establish the Federal College of Nursing and Midwifery, Awa, Ijebu, Ogun State, and for related matters. Standing in the name of Honorable Joseph, Follow Show at Degbishon, honorable members will recall that the bill was read the first time on Tuesday, 10th October 2023, And I invite Honorable Adebishon to move that the bill be read a second time.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I remain Honorable Engineer Joseph Folorunso Adegbeson, representing Ijebu North, Ijebu East, Ogun Waterside, Federal Constituency. I'm from Ogun State. I rise this afternoon to move a bill for now to establish the Federal College of Nursing and Midwifery, Ala-Igbo, Ogun State, and for related matters to be read for second reading. I hereby move.
Thank you. Any seconder to this motion? Any seconder to, yes, second it.
Architect Austin Asuma Chado. I represent the good people of West Federal Constituency of Benue State. I stand to second the bill assembly moved by my brother. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you very much. Those in support of this motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Please go straight to the bill, and it's an establishment bill, so just...
Thank you.
We know what the institutions have to do. Just 1 minute, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, the respected colleagues. I rise to move a lead debate in support of the bill and act to establish the Federal College of Nurses and Midwifery, Ala-Igbo, Ogun State, and for related matters. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I have the honor to lead the debate in support of a bill for an act to establish the Federal College of Nursing and Midwifery, Ala-Igbo, Ogun State, to provide training and research in nursing, midwifery, and other specialties of nursing, leading to the award of professional certificates, diploma degrees, and other post-basic certificates, and to make provision for the general administration of the college and for related matters. The objectives of the bill include to provide the legal framework to the establishment of the college, provide for the day-to-day administration of the college, to provide the facilities that will encourage research in the field of nursing, to provide an avenue for continuing education for training, midwifery, and related field of nursing. Ensure the college run in conformity with the international best practice. Provide such service that are necessary and incidental to the
thank you.
objective of the college.
Thank you very much. It's a straightforward bill. You can see it. You can see it. It's an establishment bill.
Let me go at least conclusion and everything, Mr. Speaker. At least let them hear me at home. Let them hear the body of this bill, Mr. Speaker, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Okay.
I know that you want this midwifery and nursing institution to be there. We're just looking at our time, and we know what the institution will do to Ijebu. So just pray the House, go to your last paragraph, pray the House so that we can support it. I can assure you members will support this year establishment bill, okay? Put on your mic.
In conclusion, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I really urge my colleagues to vote in support of the running of this college, which will improve on the health and well-being of my constituency and Nigeria in general. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Honorable is so passionate about his people, yes, so passionate about the health situation around his place. Honorable believe that by having this nursing institution and midwifery, it will add value to the health of his people. And I also agree with him. I'll put the question. Those who are in support that this bill be read the second time, say aye. Aye. Honorable, you can see. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Honorable, you can see that everybody supports. Thank you. He's thanking the House. Thanks a lot. This clerk, please read the long title of this bill, please.
Right Honorable Speaker, honorable members. A bill for an act to establish Federal College of Nursing and Midwifery, Ala-Igbo, Ogun State, and for related matters, second reading.
This bill is referred to the Committee on Health Institution. Let's have a few announcements before we'll just rush into the motions on notice, which will be just the prayers, and we'll leave here. The target is for us to leave here around 2 o'clock. So we'll just go motion on notice to the prayers, and then we'll leave here at 2 o'clock. So this announcement is to inform all honorable members that a free diabetic retinopathy and general eye check will be conducted tomorrow by the Tailish Eye Center Limited in conference room 034 at 9 a.m. Those who want to check their eye should be there by 9 a.m. 034. If I knew, I wouldn't have checked my own yesterday. I checked it yesterday. I would have waited till tomorrow to check it. So I encourage you to be there to have your eye checked because of the much reading that we do. And the announcer is our own clerk, Dr. Yahaya Danzaria. The second and the last announcement is inauguration ceremony of the House Representative Committee on the review of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. This is to invite all members of the House of Representatives to the inauguration ceremony of the House of Representative Committee on the review of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 as amended, which is scheduled to take place as follows: Monday, 26 February 2024. If you are going to participate in this constitutional amendment, your constituents will expect you to be in that hall. Monday, 26th of February 2024. Congress Hall, Transcorp, Hilton, Abuja. We have invited all the stakeholders, and it will be good that the major stakeholders, which includes you, be there, and those coming from your state will see that you are in that room on that day. The event is expected to usher the House into a period of intense national engagement and conversation where relevant stakeholders and members of the public will make input towards accomplishing consensus on outstanding and contemporary constitutional debates to timeously deliver on citizens' expectations of amendment to the Constitution. We count on your support and cooperation to deliver on this task of nation building. The announcer is Benjamin Okezie Carlo, the chairman committee. The time is 10 a.m. prompt. 10 a.m. prompt. Chairman, Constitution Review Committee of the House. The fifth order of the day is a motion on rescission of the House Resolution 3202-2024, standing in the names of Honorable Wifer and Honorable Solomon Bob. Honorable Wifer, who is not there, will be replaced by the deputy. You are invited to take this motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, distinguished colleagues. I am Bel Isa Ambarura, member representing Ilela Gwadaba Federal Constituency from Sokoto State. Mr. Speaker, I rise up to present this motion on rescissions of the House Resolution HR 3202-2024 on behalf of my chairman, Mr. Francis Wiley. I am the deputy chairman of this committee. Mr. Speaker, the House may recall that on Tuesday, 13th February 2023, it debated on a motion on need to monitor increased FAC allocation and the usage in accordance with the enabling laws in the country to reduce the poverty in Nigeria. However, the House which notes that it was resolved and mandated the community or the committees on special duties, national planning, and economic development and intergovernmental affairs to look into the state spending and utilizations of the increased allocation from the FAC. Note that the subject matter of the motion is not within the powers of the National Assembly to legislate, and hence the motion for the rescissions. Resolved, Mr. Speaker, is to resign its resolution HR 3202-2024. I so submit, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, distinguished colleagues.
Any seconder to this motion? Yes, sir.
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, my name is Husseini Mohammed Jallo, representing Igbo Federal Constituency of Kaduna State. I hereby second the motion heavily moved by my colleague. I so second. Thank you.
Thank you. Those in support of this motion say aye. Those against say nay. Objection to the motion for rescission. Okay, let's hear what you have to say on that. Make it brief. Was that your motion?
Yes.
Okay, let's hear you.
Mr. Speaker, distinguished honorable colleagues, my name remains Ademori Aliukuye. I speak for the good people of Shomolu Federal Constituency, and I'm from Lagos State. Mr. Speaker, I rise to oppose the motion for the rescission of the resolution of the House rightly taken on the 13th of February, 2024. Mr. Speaker, this is more of a constitutional matter, and I'm happy today that a legal luminary is acting as the speaker today, sir. Mr. Speaker, in opposing this motion, I refer the House, Mr. Speaker, and my colleagues to Section 2, subsection 2 of the Constitution. It says from Section 1 that Nigeria is an indivisible, indissoluble sovereign state. And 2.2 provides that Nigeria shall be a federation consisting of states and the Federal Capital Territory. Section 3 of the Constitution lists out those states that constitute the federation. Mr. Speaker, distinguished honorable colleagues, an injury or a crisis in one of those states is a crisis that is happening in Nigeria. Mr. Speaker, out of my concern for the cries and the pains of Nigerians, I moved that motion that our governors should please stand up to their responsibilities and support the federal government in the fight against hunger and poverty in the land. And immediately after the resolution of the House, the very next day, His Excellency, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, called a meeting in reaction to the resolution passed by this House. There was a meeting between the president and all the state governors where the issues that we discussed here was tabled and decisions were taken. And since that time, the state governors have started reaching out. I can tell you authoritatively, sir, that just last week, the Lagos state government disbursed over 789 million naira to market traders. And this was what the House resolved on. As state governors should start doing something to help the people. And so it has commenced in so many other states. Mr. Speaker, distinguished honorable colleagues, the power given to this parliament, we must not shy away from that responsibility and that power. Mr. Speaker, the power of the parliament is well enunciated in Section 4 of the Constitution on the power to make laws and even distribution and disbursement of revenue from the Consolidated Revenue Fund. Mr. Speaker, distinguished honorable colleagues, Section 162, subsection 5 of the Constitution, with the kind permission of Mr. Speaker, I would like to read.
This is going to be a very intellectual debate, but we'll make it very brief.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'll do that. I just want to read so that we do not sound like we are just doing what we are not permitted by the Constitution to do, sir. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, Section 162, subsection 5, says that the amount standing to the credit of local government councils in the federation account shall also be allocated to the state for the benefit of local governments on such term and in such manner as may be prescribed.
You have a minute to round up. You have a minute to round up, please.
Okay, sir. I'll just do that right away. Mr. Speaker, since the subsidy was removed, and the decision to remove subsidy was not only taken by the president, but in agreement with the governors. The governors equally agreed to it. And the money since then, I have the floor. I have the floor, please. I have the floor.
Yeah, well, 1 minute is off.
Mr. Speaker, sir.
Round up.
Mr. Speaker, sir. If you take, Mr. Speaker, sir, distinguished honorable colleagues, since the subsidy has been removed, Mr. President promised to bring prosperity, and that is what he has been doing. Mr. Speaker, for example, for the last 6 months, sir, in the last 6 months, between June and December, I have a table here that shows that the state that received the least amount of allocation received ×3 of what they have been receiving before June. And Nigerians are clamoring that they are not seeing the effect of this huge amount of money that is going to the state.
Okay, it's okay.
And that's what we have to do, sir.
We have given you enough time to
Thank you, Mr.
lay your case. Let me hear from Honorable Bob Solomon.
Thank you.
I will urge you to listen to these conversations. I urge you to listen to this conversation. This is what Parliament is all about. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and distinguished colleagues. Yes, truly, my name is Solomon Bob. I'm from Rivers State. And
Please listen to the conversation.
I represent Abua Odua Nahuda East Federal Constituency. This motion for rescission was...
Speak into your mic. They want to hear you.
Okay. This motion for rescission was brought pursuant to my intervention a few days ago. Now, I have understood Honorable Kuye, and a few days ago, I think Babajimi Benson also spoke in his favor. This is about process, not about aversion for corruption. Nobody here likes corruption. I respect Honorable Kuye very well. I've known him since Light Assembly, and I know his instinctual aversion for corruption. Okay? But there is no wrong way of doing the right thing. That is what this motion for rescission is all about. We don't have the powers. You cited section 162(5). Those sections deal with allocation. We are talking about looking into the state funding, state finances, expenditure. You can't do that. I direct your attention to section 88 of the Constitution. Let me read it to you. Section 88 of the Constitution. Let me read to you. Subject 88.1. I will pay a lot of attention to paragraph A. Now, subject to the provision of the Constitution, each House of National Assembly shall have power by resolution published in its journal or in the official gazette of the government of the Federation to direct or cause to be directed investigation into A, any matter or thing with respect to which he has power to make laws. This House has power to make laws. That is, with respect to money, appropriation law, Appropriation Act, I beg your pardon. We have power to appropriate for the federal government. We don't have power to appropriate for the states. Under section 128, that is the job of the states. The states can appropriate for the state houses, can appropriate for their state governments. When they do that, they only, under section 128, can question how the money is spent. So we shouldn't do things because of our enthusiasm to build ourselves. I agree, I said earlier, we don't want corruption. But if you do the right thing the wrong way, you are in fact enabling corruption. It's as simple as that. Like I said, this motion, I have never been here to stand against anybody's motion. But this rubs up on the integrity of the House. If it goes out, we look upon as people don't know what they are doing. No state government will send any of its officials or officers to talk with you. Because they will throw the books at you. They will ask, do you know what you guys are doing in that house? For Christ's sake. You can't do that. So this is essentially about process, not about, lacking corruption, not lacking corruption. Okay? The other day when we were leaving, we had some banter. Kui and I, he was suggesting that though I'm on the sponsorship of somebody, sponsorship of some governors. No governor can sponsor me. You guys in this house should know me. No one can sponsor me. No one can tempt me with anything. It's not possible. In this life, it's not possible. So I'm doing this on the basis of my understanding, because this is my forte, of the Constitution. I'm a constitutional lawyer. In this country, with all sorts of modesty, I don't differ to when it comes to Constitution. I don't find anyone. I'm the only one possibly who has read all the books written by Professor Nwabeze of blessed memory. I know what I'm saying. So the point is that let us do the right thing, use the right process. We cannot question state expenditure. We can allocate under section 162. When the government spend it, it's not our business.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Let me hear Honorable Sada Sola.
Mr. Speaker, I am not a lawyer, but I'm a student of law. Section 162 that he was making reference to is dealing with the public revenue, with the marginal note of distributable pool account. If you go to section 162 up to subsection 8, it's referring the entire that revenue, how they regulate it is referring to the state assembly. But what we are sending here, is the decision of the House where it mandated the committees of special duties, national planning and economic development and intergovernmental to look into spending and utilization of increased allocation to states. That's what we are sending, because we have no jurisdiction to look into the federal allocation to states and local governments. That's what we are sending, because it's not within our jurisdiction. The rest is semantics. I lay my case, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. Honorable Jimmy, you want to say something? But no, wait, I don't want you to say something yet. Let me hear Pascal Abodike, PhD. And after him, the next PhD will be speaking.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Right Honorable Pascal Abodike. I represent the Ala Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Anambra State. Mr. Speaker, I have painstakingly listened to about 3 last speakers in this matter. Mr. Speaker, it's not just that I'm a PhD holder, but you know, I was a former House of Assembly member. Having seen the question or the topic at hand, it is the prerogative of the state legislature to question the governor on how he spends his allocation, and not that of the National Assembly. The law that established House of Assemblies in Nigeria gave them that power. Mr. Speaker, without any form of bias, we don't have the powers to do that. Delving into that is going outside our jurisdiction. Mr. Speaker, it is not good we make mockery of this most revered parliament. Let us face those things that are more important to this honorable house. Mr. Speaker, I rest my case. Thank you.
Omar, PhD, please.
Thank you, Your Excellency, Mr. Speaker. My name is Dr. Patrick Umar. I represent the entire people of Ikorekbene, Esienudim, Oborokara Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Akwa Ibom State.